Hey guys, thanks for visiting us at ArkLaTexHomepage.com. I'm meteorologist Josh Marces with your advisory update as far as Hurricane Delta and the expected impacts here in the ArkLaTex in the upcoming days. Again, the latest full advisory from the National Hurricane Center. We still have wind speeds at 105 miles per hour, but there's actually been a bit of a track change here, so we'll go ahead and put this into motion as far as the forecast track. Couple of things to point out to you. One, they have dropped the intensity from a Category 4 to a Category 3. Don't read too much into that or lock too much into that, because we very well could see this storm strengthen to a Category 4 as it makes its way over the warm Gulf water. But one of the changes here, we've actually seen a bit of a track shift to the west, and again this morning, as far as the latest full advisory, the 4 a.m. update and again the 1 a.m. update, we did see the forecast track basically about 50 miles further to the east. So this is actually a pretty big track shift to the west. That said, it's still expected to take this pretty hard northeast turn after it makes landfall, so it really doesn't change too much for us. But one thing to point out, if this does make landfall in southwest Louisiana, obviously this puts the Lake Charles area, which was hit hard by Hurricane Laura, in line to see some pretty significant impacts from Delta as well. And again, folks, their roofs are covered with tarps, windows are covered with tarps. They're still trying to get over what happened with Hurricane Laura. And again, if you do have friends and family there in southwest Louisiana, try to urge them. The time to prepare is obviously now. As far as the path, as it moves up towards the ArkLaTex, you can see here by Friday evening, the storm is very close to Alexandria and then kind of starts to pull away from the region here. So we do have a few parishes in Louisiana that we're kind of eyeballing for the potential to see maybe some high wind and maybe some heavy rain, and that would be Sabine, Natchitoches, maybe Red River and Bienville parishes. But keep in mind, there's still some track uncertainty with this, even though it's starting to lock in a little bit more on southwest Louisiana. But the way things are going to play out here, we will begin to see some rain Thursday. These are just some of the outer bands moving up and across the region, and there's kind of your main event as we move through the day on Friday. Expect that we will see some heavier rain set up as we move through the day on Friday afternoon through Friday evening and maybe into early Saturday morning. But it looks like the severe weather threat, that's usually off to the east of these systems. So as far as any kind of tornado watches or any anticipation that we'll see any kind of tornadic activity, we're really not in a position to see that at this point. So the thing that we'll be looking out for in a few areas is obviously that threat for some high wind as well as some heavy rain. But at this point, it still looks like it will be a rather isolated threat unless things change dramatically with the track here over the next day or two. So the latest look, this is from our in-house model. It is showing some 2 to 3 inch accumulations, and it's actually bumped those a little bit further to the west. So we're starting to get or see that heavier rain set up closer to the I-49 corridor, maybe through Shreveport and Bossier City. But it looks like the heaviest rain could still see a good 3 to 5 inches of rain in Sabine as well as Natchitoches parishes. And as far as the winds, the National Hurricane Center puts out this map here, and it's basically the probability that you'll see tropical storm force winds. So 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts are higher. And since this morning, we've seen the area get nudged along with the track further into the ArkLaTex. So we do expect to see maybe some 40-plus-mile-an-hour wind gusts here. Sabine, Natchitoches, Bienville parishes. Won't rule out Red River Parish and maybe Shelby County as well. And we're kind of in the dark blue here through Shreveport, so we could catch a high wind gust or two Friday evening. But it looks like any threat for wind damage, tree damage, a lot of the power outages that we saw last time, that would be confined to the area that you see in green, yellow, and orange. So we're still trying to take this all in. We do know there will probably be some track adjustments here in the upcoming days, but again, we'll pick up a little bit of rain Thursday. Still thinking the window that we have to watch would be Friday afternoon through very early Saturday morning, but we should see the rain wrap up in most areas by sunrise on Saturday. Could have a brief lingering shower behind that, but if you do have outdoor plans Saturday, I think we're looking just fine for much of the day, and pretty warm day Sunday as well as Monday. And we do have another cold front which will make its way in for the middle of next week. Of course, the next full advisory from the National Hurricane Center will come out today at 4 p.m. Central. That's when we would expect to see any kind of major track changes. There will be an intermediate advisory at 1 p.m. today.